What's up guys, Jake here with JakesGotHerps, not to be confused with herpes. Herpes is nasty. In this video I want to talk to you guys about sheds and when your reptiles shed and how you can help keep your humidity up to help your reptile shed, or if you're keeping a species of snake or other reptile that requires high humidity, how you can achieve that easier with less stress. Because my third snake that I got was a Brazilian rainbow boa, and to be perfectly honest, I was stressed out all the time trying to keep the humidity up because everything you read on the internet tells you about how Brazilian rainbow boas need 100% humidity, which is actually pretty close to what they need. But it can be pretty difficult to maintain that. If you don't know what you're doing, it can be a bit of a hassle, and you'll find yourself not getting the proper humidity levels. So first, what I want to talk about is when your snakes are shedding, what can you do to help them, just immediately right then and there. What I like to do when my snakes are shedding, as you can see, my king snake just shed, and he got a nice full shed. As you can see, almost full shed. And I think I might keep this actually for reptile presentations. Little kids really like to see the snake skins. But what I do when my reptiles are shedding, and this goes mainly for reptiles that don't require as high of humidity, although you can do this with any animals, to take just a normal spray bottle, fill it with hot water. I like to use hot water because when you spray it, when it comes out, it's actually pretty cool. And if you use cold water, obviously you're going to be spraying your animals with cold water. They're not going to like that. And all I do is I just very lightly mist over the enclosure. And you can mist more or less depending on what kind of animal you have and what kind of substrate you're using. I find is actually pretty important as well. My king snake doesn't really like getting sprayed directly that much, but he does enjoy a good soak. But if you're using an aspen or like a wood-based bedding, I would recommend not spraying it as much as if you're using a wood or a bark or a dirt-based bedding, because the dirt, like the eco earth and the repti bark, that'll hold moisture a lot better. Aspen and all these other wood shaving products will start to mold really fast, and that's something you obviously don't want. So that's just one way to quickly maintain your humidity. Another way to maintain your humidity, if you're housing a species that needs higher humidity all the time, not just like your corner king snake that only needs 30% humidity, maybe 50% when they're shedding. What I like to do is your substrate choice can actually really impact your humidity as well. When I'm housing species that require more humidity, such as this Argentine black and white tegu or my rainbow boa, for example, I tend to use these dirt or wood products, such as this coconut husk and coconut fiber and things like that, because they maintain humidity extremely well. And also, one thing I like to do is I like to add a really thick layer of substrate. Reason being is that things like this Argentine tegu will burrow, and in the wild, animals really burrow, one, to escape predators and to build themselves little habitats to live in and to hide in and whatnot, to make them feel more secure. But they also do it to maintain proper humidity levels. Thing with like savanna monitors, a lot of people don't know why a lot of people fail to keep them properly, is because people don't realize that they actually need high humidity. They just assume they're from like the desert, which isn't true at all. They dig a lot of burrows where the humidity can be upwards of 100%, way down in these moist burrows. So what I like to do is I like to have a really deep layer of substrate. This substrate's about 6 inches deep. If you're housing other monitors, you could probably go up to 2 feet. Would be good for them. And this is plenty for my tegu to burrow in. And the initial top layer is kind of dry, but down in there it gets a lot more moist, and that maintains humidity extremely well. And in those burrows, in those little micro habitats, the humidity stays a lot higher. One other really common thing that people do to help maintain humidity in their enclosures is that they don't want to maintain really high humidity throughout the entire enclosure, because that is a lot more maintenance. You have to be constantly checking for mold, especially if you're using moss or a dirt substrate. Mold can be kind of a problem. What a lot of people do is they make a little humid hide. Now, what a humid hide is, it's basically either a moss or an eco earth or even paper towels that are moistened down, and they basically take them and they put them in a hide. So if I were to do this right now, I would take this green moss, I'd moisten it down really nice. I'd obviously squeeze some of the excess water out so you don't have water soaking all over the place into your substrate, and it won't get as moldy as fast, because this stuff molds pretty quick. And I would take it and I would basically just put it inside of a hide, obviously without the plastic. You don't want plastic in your hide or else it's not going to work. But you want to do that, and then what that does is it maintains a little humid microclimate for your animal that they can seek out and help them shed and maintain proper humidity levels. Another thing you can do to keep up your humidity is to use different types of enclosures that aren't glass aquariums or open tops like you just saw. This melamine enclosure maintains humidity extremely well because as you can see, I don't know if you can see, but as you can see right here, there are only 3 holes on each side for airflow, and then the rest of it is all sealed up. So even a little water dish like that maintains humidity about 40% in that enclosure, which is actually pretty high when you consider that it's just a water bowl. I'm not spraying it, I'm not using a different substrate, my substrate is pretty dry, and I'm not doing any of these other things to keep the humidity up, and that's really sufficient for my animal. And that's really what I like to do the best. I like to use enclosures, or at least cover up part of the enclosure to maintain humidity, so I'm not constantly spraying my animals and using different substrates. And with your substrate, you have to worry about mold and things like that. I feel like this right here, using this kind of enclosure, is probably the best method of maintaining your humidity. And again, this all really depends on what type of animal you have. You'll notice for the most part, I keep a lot of my higher humidity animals in tanks such as this. This is a carpet python. They don't really need that high of humidity, but I keep mine in tanks such as this. Or if you look over here, I keep my blood python in a plastic bin like this. That's also really good for maintaining humidity. As you can see, you can avoid all these wires. I drill little holes in the side, and that way I can pretty much just pick what the humidity level I want is. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I know it was not the most exciting video in the world. I'm planning on doing a lot more really cool videos in the future, but I figured while I'm waiting for things to get all organized, I would make this video for you guys talking about humidity and sheds and things you can do to maintain your humidity level without stressing out your snake, without causing any health issues or anything. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you found it helpful, please leave a like. It helps me out a lot. And I will see you guys later. Peace.